Hello, this is WCHS Principal Troy Akers coming to you today with Volume 2 of our Principal's Coffee Chat. I hope that everyone enjoyed gaining a few hours of sleep, at least 1 hour, as we fell back on Saturday evening with our time change. My apologies, I'm off a week with our fall break dates cutting in. Therefore, we will attempt to move all future podcasts to the first Monday of the month. The goal of this podcast, or Principal's Coffee, is to help share the story of Warsaw Community High School. During the next 10 minutes, I hope to briefly review the events from the past and speak on hot topics of today as we look into the events in our near future. As reminders to our listeners, please remember that we would love your involvement, so please send any questions, thoughts, or ideas for topics to my email address at takers@warsawschools.org. I'll be certain to address them on the podcast if you wish. Today, let's begin with the biggest challenge in the history of our world as we know it, and, of course, our high school. That would be the coronavirus pandemic. COVID-19 has indeed impacted our student attendance, specifically through contact tracing. Without contact tracing, we are running at a level of 93% attendance, which is a really good thing. This is fantastic considering the pandemic event that we are now into, and which doesn't seem to slow as we look ahead. I want to talk a little bit about contact tracing so you might develop a deeper understanding of what we're called to do. Contact tracing occurs when we learn that a student has tested positive, and generally those results come to us first from the Kosciuszko County Health Department. Sometimes it comes from the parents themselves if they are in possession of a positive contact for their student. At this time, teachers, classrooms, the lunchrooms, bus or car transportation to and from school, and a listing of extracurricular events are checked during our contact tracing. Our biggest factor when confirming close contact tracing within the building is as follows. Did the infected student sit closer than 6 foot for longer than 15 minutes? Despite our best efforts, some classrooms and lunch seating simply prohibit this at this time. We all know that it's imperative that our students and staff continue to wear masks when moving, and in some cases, wear masks in certain classrooms that prohibit this social distancing. At this point, records have shown that those students or staff infected with the virus have contracted the illness outside of our building. We continue to believe that our schools are among the safest places in our community. We must remain diligent as we continue our defense against this invisible threat. Our teachers have also worked very hard to update classroom lessons through their Google or Canvas web pages. This provides a great opportunity for those who have been contact traced or students with other illnesses the opportunity to stay up to speed academically. Many teachers have also offered Google Meet to provide a better one-on-one understanding of the instructional materials missed. Okay, I am absolutely ready to move in to some highlights. Let's take a look as we continue to share our story with some celebrations that are occurring across the building. As the first 9 weeks came to a close, we did have many things to celebrate. One celebration could be overlooked by most, but it would simply be that here at the high school, we had many fewer disciplinary referrals as compared to a year ago at this time. This includes fewer suspensions and nearly zero requests for expulsions. Our students have been doing a fantastic job here. We're grateful for their cooperation and their overall behavior. This is a fantastic lead into another celebration, and that's a celebration of a very special program that we have here at Warsaw Community High School. It's called Sources of Strength, and we're in our third year with this program. Overall, Sources is a top teen support program in the nation. Fortunately, we also happen to have a trained professional to lead this group of positive young people looking to make a difference. Their leader is our very own Assistant Director of Counseling, Mrs. Sarah Graham.
Well, thank you for having me on here. So Sources of Strength, we are in our third year, and we have nearly 40 students in it, and we have 20 to 25 adult advisors. And we're a group where our job, we see it as spreading stories of hope, spreading positivity, being that person that can be trusted or reached out to if somebody's having a hard time. We try to link students and staff with help if needed, and we also just try to be that person for them who can be a listening ear and somebody they know they can trust and turn to.
Well, Sarah, I know that you've done a nice job of at different times our school day will allow us some time to actually meet with kids. And you've also been very involved during enrichment time in producing some SEL moments for the staff. Now with Sources, what kind of activities specifically have gone on so far this fall, and what might we be looking forward to as we enter November and December?
So we've been meeting quite frequently since the beginning of school during the SRT time, and we've been planning some big campaigns. We have one coming up that we're really excited to launch, so be watching social media. We have an Instagram page, and we'll be putting that out across Facebook and Instagram so that you know how to access our Sources Instagram page. But we're going to be flooding it with stories of strength, and we're going to be flooding it with ways that we can encourage one another and how we can help each other get connected to the 8 core strengths that we have in our program that really provide that base of support in times of trouble.
Well, I think it's, one, I'm very indebted to you for taking this on and seeing this as a mission for yourself and for the people of our school. I've always really felt the urgency that as a school body that we should be here to help lift people up and not push people down. And students have stories, and the stories they go far out into their world and not so much within the walls of WCHS. But by having an avenue such as Sources of Strength, it does appear that we're able to meet a lot of students' needs and really help them with this social emotional health. Sarah, I thank you for sharing just a small snippet of what's going on, and wish you continued success and our students continued success. And thank you for coming on the podcast this month.
Thank you again for having me, and stay tuned for more positive news from Sources of Strength.
Thank you, Sarah. Another group who has worked extremely hard and who look to produce a first-class program year in and year out would be our theater department. This year, all of the action begins the weekend of November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Under our drama program, Mrs. Dana McAfee has produced wonderful plays and musicals in this, her 21st year as the teacher and director of the WCHS Drama Department. This is actually Mrs. McAfee's 29th year total in education and working with theater. With that, I'd like to introduce Mrs. McAfee. She's here to share what the department has on tap for later in November. Mrs. McAfee, welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Can you provide the folks with a preview of our fall performance and perhaps go into the title, the plot, and some of our main characters?
I would love to. Our play is called The Greek Mythology Olympia Ganza, and it is a modern retelling of some of the most famous Greek mythology stories. So it starts with pretty much how Zeus comes about and how all of these different characters, Prometheus, Icarus, we even have a little bit of a crazy ending with the Iliad. The nice thing about it is every scene is its own little story. And so we've had a really great time using kids. We have probably 45 high school kids and 15 middle school kids involved this year. And some of them are playing 2 and 3 characters. That's how big the show is. There are probably 70 total characters in the show.
My goodness.
So Yeah.
Well, I have no idea how you can organize all of that, but you always do a tremendous job. And whether we're doing a small show of 8 or 9 characters, or whether you do something as large as what you're tackling this year, and also including the middle school kids, which I think is great for the growth of the department, my hat's off to you for the organization of this. Could you, with 45, I know that's tough and you don't want to leave anybody out, but are there some of the main characters that you'd like to name today?
Well, we have some of I only have 4 seniors involved.
Okay.
We have a small department of seniors, but Jordan Norris and Emma Spencer are the 2 narrators of the story.
Very good.
And they're in the entire production, so they very rarely leave the stage. And it's a really fun little rapport they have with each other, and just taking from the perspective that it's a project they're supposed to be working on for school, and how they go about telling each story, and then integrating all of the other characters into it. So if there were leads of the show, it would be those 2.
Correct. Great. I can't imagine, the dedication that they have in trying to remember all the lines and all the scripts and to narrate, quite a show. I go back to high school and I love Greek mythology. I definitely always found it very, very interesting and enjoyed when we studied it in literature. And to see that come to life, and it sounds like you've got some vignettes going. Would that be the right term?
Oh, definitely, yes. Everything from, one of the first gods recorded, Kronos, and sort of his whole development. There's the Pandora story. There is an intermission, and, they even sort of play around with, these myths are inappropriate myths, and so they don't go into those. And,
Good.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. It's probably one of the funniest plays that I have actually read in years. I just laughed out loud the entire time I read it. So it's really fun. Well,
we certainly look forward to it. And again, the dedication and hard work that goes on behind the scenes that you provide, and other adults that help to carry our theater department. It's just amazing. We know you can't do it alone. It takes a team. And we just really have, oh my goodness, and just some very, very special young people that really enjoy drama, and we're really glad that they have that opportunity. Can you tell me what the social distancing might look like during these performances, and then how we might be able to get tickets?
Yes. Right now I'm only planning to sell about 200 tickets per show. You will buy your tickets. You will be given assigned seats, and then there will be 3 seats between you and the next group of people that will buy tickets. A row between each, so there'll be a row between each row. We're even going to open up the balcony just so we can spread people out as much as possible. The place seats over 900 people, so we really shouldn't have a problem at all with social distancing. We will ask people to wear their masks until they get in and sit down. There are even some of the scenes I'm having the kids wear their masks on stage just because there are so many of them on stage. But there are also lots of opportunities where they can be on stage and spread out, and they won't have to wear their masks on stage either. But we're trying to be really careful. What I've been telling everybody is I'm trying to create something that the kids can be excited about and look forward to, and at the same time keep them as safe as I possibly can.
Well, I just appreciate your efforts, and we're looking forward to the event. And I know in talking with Jay Michaels from the PAC, I know that we're kind of working alongside of that social distancing with what's been instituted at the Wagon Wheel as far as that safety aspect. And I know that goes without saying that there were a lot of considerations with that as you put this program together. So thanks for joining me today. And we always want to look to get our story out there. And you're greatly appreciated, you and the work that you do. And we hope a lot of people come out at the end of November. Thank you, Mrs. McAfee.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to move on into a couple of other items. I really appreciate Mrs. McAfee and Mrs. Graham joining us tonight. And I want to move into some other highlights. With the running of the state cross-country meet this past weekend, both our girls and boys team posted phenomenal results on the year. The girls finished 24th place overall in the state, while the boys placed 17th on Saturday in Terre Haute. The Lady Tigers will say goodbye to several seniors, including varsity seniors Adri Beckham and Whitney Shepard, while our young men will say goodbye to senior leaders Jacob Kissling, Samuel Leckleitner, and Tanner Stiver. Both of these teams are well stocked with underclassmen and will look to create another special season next year. What a crew of outstanding athletes and outstanding academic scholars in this cross-country bunch. Congratulations to boys coach Jim Mills and our girls coach Jason Fleming. Well done. The final fall team still playing in an IHSA state tournament setting will be the football Tigers under the direction of Coach Bart Curtis. The Tigers gave fans plenty to cheer about in a wild winner at the Tiger Athletic Complex on Friday night over the highly rated Carroll Chargers, 42-35. Seniors Austin Green, Juan Jaramillo, and Patrick Zollinger led the way for this outstanding win. The Tigers will take the field once again, seeking their second consecutive sectional championship this Friday night versus Homestead. Finally, as we look ahead to the second 9 weeks, we're right in the middle of I-STEP Plus retesting. It's in full force and will run throughout the month. The bell schedule for Monday and Tuesday, November 23rd and 24th, will follow the same schedule as Monday and Tuesday of fall break. We will have the traditional late start 7-period day on the 23rd, following by a traditional 7-period day on November 24th, which of course leads us into the Thanksgiving holiday, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. There are many more activities in store as we look to complete this second 9 weeks of semester 2. Our winter sports season will begin with boys and girls basketball, boys and girls swimming, wrestling, and gymnastics are getting ready to begin their sports seasons as well. As we wrap up this 2020 school year, we will also be reviewing our curriculum guides and course selection sheets for 2020 and 2022. 2021 and 2022. Should you have any questions, once again, suggestions for the podcast, or anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until December, go Tigers.